So yun mga kapatid, part 2 ito ng yung pinanood natin kanina, yung The Scary Cherry na kakaibang mga pamilya sa buong mundo. Ito na yung part 2 mga kapatid. So tuloy na natin agad. Huwag na natin ipatagalin pa to. Let's go! Let's play with on! Let's get it on. Let's go, let's go. Part 2 na po ito mga kapatid. Ito na yung part 2.
11. The Deebs family.
The Deebs family.
Now, I'm honestly going to keep this one short because, quite frankly, it's just too much
Kala ko tatalon
to
sila dun
talk about, really. If you remember the fancy topic I talked about inbreeding and the dangers that lie within, this is a real-life story of that happening, and it gets quite dark. To make a long story short, thankfully, the daughter fell in love with her father in a way that's beyond a father-daughter relationship, and they eventually had two children together. Yes, for real, and it's honestly disgusting to look at some of the pictures of them together making out and stuff. The daughter apparently didn't think that anything was wrong with it, and the father, well, he didn't think that anything was wrong with it either, which just goes to prove definitively that something is absolutely wrong with the both of them. Oh, and if you want another plot twist here, the daughter and mother eventually went to jail after she caused the death of her own daughter. Number 10, the Ulas family. It's going to get a bit more baseline level of weird, which I'm sure some will disagree with for various reasons, and we'll have a look at the Ulas family. They were from Turkey, and they had an affliction in their bodies that caused them not to be able to walk upright, but they had to walk on all fours. And to be clear here, outside of the fact that I didn't write anything in this script, I'm not talking about all fours like a dog. Apparently, they did a bear crawl that was so unique that it had never been recorded before in humans.
Hussein can travel for kilometers like this.
Not that this is something that a lot of humans would want to have, mind you. It was a curious condition in regards to how it affected a whole entire family that it eventually covered in a documentary by the BBC. And we all know that they don't mess around with their documentaries. Quadrupedalism is the name for it now, and one could only imagine how difficult it must be to live life with such a style of movement compared to bipedal humans. Number 9. The Whitakers.
Kakaiba yun, ha?
Sadly, I have to show you another story of inbreeding, but this one has a more tragic element.
Kasi wala yung balik tayo dun sa nauna, no? Gusto ko lang mag-comment dun eh. Wala naman, sabi dun sa video kasi kanina, wala naman daw problema dun sa kalagayan nila na maglakad ng diretso. Bakit pinili nila maglakad ng nakaganon? No? Kakaiba yun, ano? Grabe yun, ha? Kakaiba talaga siya. Ito naman, grabe ito. Ano kayong pamilya ito? Ano naman kaya mayroon dito sa pamilya na ito?
The downsides that doing this can do. The Whitakers were a family from the UK living very much in isolation from the rest of society, to the extent that this was why they were inbred, though to varying levels depending on the stories that you hear about them.
Freddy was around.
The problems with this is that it can literally be seen on the faces of the children throughout the generations. Many of them have various deformities or abnormalities within their bodies and their minds, and this makes it hard for them to live. The patriarch of the family even notes that it's hard to support both the family and their dogs. Yet they didn't seem to mind putting themselves in the position to begin with, you know. Number 8. The Bunker Twins. We'll step away from the darker stories and actually talk about a duo that made history, that being the Bunker Twins. Specifically, Chang and Eng Bunker, two conjoined twins who happen to be Siamese Americans. Now, if you get the history that was made by them, yes, they were so unique in appearance that their existence is what caused the phrase Siamese twins to be born. They were so popular that they actually did tours of the world to show off their condition, and they were also examined by all kinds of doctors. Yet somewhat inspiringly, they not only lived full lives, they also got married, and between the two of them, had 21 children. Their legacy still lives on today in the title that they helped to bring forth. Number 7. The Tongues.
The Tongues.
No, this family isn't named Tongue, but the tongues of these two are indeed quite impressive. Meet Byron Schlenker and his teenage daughter, who both hold world records for having the world's widest tongue. Yes, widest. They're honestly really huge. Byron's tongue measures a whopping 8.6 centimeters across, and his daughter Emily is not far behind at 7.3.
Submissions, and yours caught my eye. Can you do me a favor? Just
They hold the record for the widest female tongue, while her father has the men's crown. Both Byron and Emily ironically didn't know at first that they had tongues that were record holders, but then they measured them,
lapad,
and surely enough, they indeed measured up. Either way, they now show off their tongues all the time because people can't believe how wide they are. Number 6. The piebaldism family.
Okay, iba naman yun. Ang
Piebaldism
lapad.
is a severe, persistent depigmentation of the skin from the moment of birth
Yan yung
that creates
sakit ni,
irregular
ano,
white spots throughout the body. It's
Ayan yung sakit ni Michael Jordan na, alam ko ito yun eh, sinasabi nila na nagpakulay siya ng, di ba, black siya tapos naging white na lahat. Pero alam ko yan yung sakit ni Michael Jordan eh. Michael Jordan. Si Michael Jackson. Yan, yung sakit niya, yung naging pumuti lahat ng buong katawan niya. Parang yan yung sakit niya eh. Ni Michael Jackson eh. Ewan ko kung talagang yun ha, pero alam ko ito yun eh. Tuloy na natin mga kapatid.
similar to a better-known skin condition known as vitiligo, which most people with this condition also display a white crest of hair running through the middle of their head. So, as you can see with the pictures of this family, this condition makes them stand out in a crowd, any crowd really, and some may even think that they painted themselves that way, but no, it's the condition with which they have to live with every day. This family from Brazil actually embraces it, and have even been praised by some by how they don't shy away from the look of their skin, but actually show it off to indicate that they won't hide who they are. A lesson that many of us could take to heart. Number 5. The modified couple.
The modified
Here's
couple?
another couple
What do
that
you
I'm
mean?
going to rant
Oh.
about, because Victor Hugo Peralta and his
Grabe.
wife Gabriela have a world record that no one should ever want. That would be the most body modifications done to a married couple.
Wow.
Between them, they have 77 modifications, which consist of 50 piercings, 4 microdermals, 11 body implants, 5 dental implants, 4 ear
Oh.
expanders, 2 ear bolts,
Grabe,
and 1
oh.
forked tongue. In certain contexts and situations, body modification can be necessary, but this goes well beyond that, and it's more like body mutilation to some people. But what can be horrific to some can often be beautiful to others, and modifying the body will continue on from today until forever, more than likely. Number 4. The Radfords. At first, the Radfords seemed like a normal family when you just focus on the parents. They met when they were young,
Wow,
got
ang dami ng
together,
anak nito,
then
ah.
they married, and then they decided to have children. Now we can get in our time machine and fast forward to 2022, where they literally have 22 children. To be fair, a few of them are grown up now and don't actually live in the house, and that does lighten the load just a little. Emphasis on the word little, really. When you hear the two talk about not only raising all of these kids, but the high costs of having them, you truly have to wonder how they ever survived. Their fame obviously helped, but whether it's enough is actually debatable. The mother of this pack notes that every day is a workout to try and get them all going and do for them and get what they need. I mean, no kidding, lady. You have over 20 kids. Number 3. The odd
Dami
couple.
nun, no? Grabe.
Given that all I've shown you so far in this
Whoa.
video, saying that someone is an odd couple
Grabe.
doesn't really mean a whole lot without the context.
Na-imagine ko na.
of it all.
Naisip
In the
ko ba
case we're
naisip ko?
talking about now, we
Paano
have
yung
a
kaya mangyari
4-foot
yun?
bodybuilder named Anton Kraft who has
Grabe
dared
yun.
to prove that his life is not defined by his height. He's actually the strongest bodybuilder of his type in the world, given how much he can bench press. Then, when he tried to find love, that's when he got together with China Bell, who happens to be a transgender woman. Not what you were
Oh,
probably
transgender pala
expecting.
siya.
And yet, Kraft says that he's the luckiest guy in the world, given that he and Bell really do seem happy together. And if they feel the love is real, then who are we to object? Number 2. Kate Cathcart and Darren Donaghy. Now here's another odd couple, but for a very different reason, because you might say that this woman is beautiful, and the man she married is average. The two met on a show called Punching Above Your Weight, and then married soon after. But if you were to ask Kate if she was beautiful, she would actually tell you no, commenting that she's not anything special, and that she actually got bullied in school, so she never thought of herself like that. It's very interesting as a perspective, but you could also argue that this allowed her to see past beauty and see the person inside and not just herself. but her husband, who seems very happy. Now, when you'd usually see something like this, you might cry foul play or bad intentions, but this time, it really does seem to be love. Number 1. The Manson family. Yes, as in
Manson
Charles
family.
Manson, Helter Skelter, and whatever else you'd like to call it, I'm talking about that family. The one that was brainwashed by Charles Manson into thinking that he wanted them to murder other people and that he would lead them into a new age after an upcoming apocalypse. In fact, they were so dedicated to him that they would commit crimes and even go out to murder people in a night of terror that's still remembered to this day. The
Kakaiba ito.
cult of personality, if you will, has not just been used by Manson, mind you, but it is without a doubt one of the most scary and weird things that's ever occurred. There's a reason that Quentin Tarantino changed history with the Manson family in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. The ending turned out much better that way. And that's all from the realm of really
Yun.
weird families that are out there
Natapos
right
din, mga
now.
kapatid,
Which
ano?
of them
Grabe yun.
did you look at and say, yeah,
So yun mga kapatid, ano? Yun yung part 2 na pinanood natin ng The Scary Cherry. Yung pamagat ng kanyang title is pamagat ng kanyang title. Ano ba yun? Title ng kanyang content is This is the most dangerous family in history, ano? So kakaiba siya, no? So yun mga kapatid, so sana nagustuhan nyo ito mga kapatid, at kung nagustuhan nyo itong video na to, mag-subscribe kayo kay Scary Cherry, and of course sa aking channel, si Reaction TV Official mga kapatid. Please subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell button para lagi kang updated sa channel ko. Araw-araw mag-upload ako ng isang video lang. Okay, see you on my next video mga kapatid. Bye-bye! Bye-bye, bye-bye. Bye-bye!